SalesCrunch. Learn more, earn more.
All right, so guys, thanks for coming. I thought just as a way of introduction, maybe we can just all talk a little bit about our personal background. Mark, you want to start?
Sure. You guys hear me okay? Mark Roberge, I'm the VP of Sales at HubSpot. Spent 6 years down here in New York, haven't been in a while, so psyched to be back. My career started in consulting at Accenture. They made a mistake of staffing me on a startup while I was there, and I never looked back. This is the fourth startup that I've done. One of them was a mobile startup up here. I have a background, I went to Lehigh undergrad in engineering and MIT for my MBA.
Greg Coleman, I went to NYU Business School back many years ago when it was downtown on Trinity Place. I don't know if any of you remember that back then, but I've been in the media business for the last 30 years, starting off in the print world and jumping to digital at the end of 2000 when I went to Yahoo. And at Yahoo, I ran worldwide sales. So I had the chance to watch our business grow from about $600 million in 2000 to about $6.5 billion in 2007. So pretty interesting ramp up, both in how fast things changed, how the sales world changed, and to be right on the leading edge of it. And we were making stuff up as we went along. So today I'm President and Chief Revenue Officer at the Huffington Post. I'm sure we have some people here in this room that read that. Our offices are right down on Prince and Broadway. I didn't raise my hand before, but we are hiring. And we're having an incredible time doing some things never been done before in the media world. And we'll probably talk about some of that stuff a little bit later. I also teach at Georgetown University in the McDonough School of Business. Please don't throw anything at me. My daughter happens to go there, so that's where I went to undergrad. And I teach a course called Internet Advertising and Marketing to second-year MBAs.
And my name is Andrew Quinn. I'm also with HubSpot. I run sales training there. My background, I've been in sales and sales management for going on 24 years. A lot of that was actually in the print world as well. I worked for the major telephone companies in Yellow Pages sales, believe it or not, which is definitely a bare knuckle sale.
A great background.
Absolutely. And I also did some work in some different startups, as well as worked in Microsoft when they were doing Sidewalk.com, which was a local portal. And basically have been running sales organizations and sales training organizations for quite some time. And I do that now at HubSpot.
Great, and I introduced myself already, but my background is before starting SalesCrunch in April, I was the founding VP Sales at Trulia.com, which I mentioned. That team, we went from 2005, about 5 of us with a good idea, to about 170 people today, 70 of which are in sales, and that team is blowing up. And actually, where these guys have 2 very different kinds of sales models, we actually, Trulia as an example of both. They have an ad sales model on both sides of the house, but one is to agencies and brands, and the other is an inside team that sells subscription marketing packages to real estate agents who put their listings on the site. Which is, as it turns out, where all the growth in that company is coming from. And it was a really interesting ride, and there were so many things I wish I knew 5 years ago that hopefully you'll learn a little bit about here tonight. So maybe we could talk a little bit about what HubSpot does and how it does it, and
sure.
Go around.
Sure.
Again.
So HubSpot helps folks, small businesses, generate leads from the web. We help folks get found in Google, in social media like Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn. And then once people find you, helps you convert those people into qualified sales leads and close that business. I got a feel for a little bit of the audience here before. I spoke to about 20 of you, so I'll use those 20 to understand where you guys are coming from. Found a very technical audience, that's great. I'll take it one step further in terms of what we do. Essentially what we do is pull together all the SEO tools, a blog, a buzz monitoring tool to help people get found. We pull together landing page creation tools, form builders for the website itself, even a system to help you manage your web content. And then we also pull together lead nurturing tools like lead scoring, email marketing, lead nurturing and analytics in order to convert those visitors into leads and customers. We sell to small businesses for between $3,000 and $18,000 a year. We have about just under 4,000 customers today and 200 employees. We've been around for about 3.5 years.
So how many of you read the Huffington Post, just so I can get a sense?
Nice.
Great. Okay, who didn't read? Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'll do that later. Back there. Okay, congratulations. Could you please leave? So the Huffington Post, believe it or not, has been in business just for 5 years. Founded by Arianna Huffington and a gentleman named Kenny Lair. Kenny's a big-time venture capitalist funding lots of really smart businesses. But when Arianna Huffington started the Post in 2005, she was ridiculed, she was mocked. We were called all kinds of really horrible things at the time. That was before I joined, but I remember reading them. They compared them with some really bad movies like this was going to be the Ishtar of the publishing world back then. So to think about it, and I think one of the most important things that I can tell you is that innovation does not happen easily. Innovation almost never happens within a big company. Big companies improve on processes, improve on products, but no one out of the New York Times or Time Inc. or the Washington Post could ever have created the Huffington Post because too many things were done that broke all of the rules. Too many things were done that would not have made sense. It was just too different than anybody could imagine. So when Arianna created what was essentially a political blog back in 2005, asking friends of hers to write, that's what nobody could really understand. And today, we have 1/3 of our content which comes from bloggers, and people give us shit all of the time about the fact that we don't pay our bloggers. We don't pay them cash, but we give them a gigantic soapbox in which they can talk from. So it's 1/3 from our bloggers, it's 1/3 from aggregated content, and it's 1/3 from original content. So we actually produce more original stories than the New York Times does, or does the Washington Post. So creating a new media form, if you're going to break the mold, as I said before, you have to break it. And I became extremely intrigued with Huffington Post because of the growth curve and how they were growing. So imagine this. Today we have 25 million unique visitors. We're twice as large as the Wall Street Journal, twice as large as the Washington Post, and just about as large as the New York Times in 5 years. And those that laughed at us are now concerned about us, and they're watching us. And when we get up in the morning, think about this. Every single month, 30% of our traffic comes from Google. And our ability to do search engine optimization is just very different than anybody else. You come down to our offices on Prince Street and Broadway, not too far from here, and if I took you through the editor's office, it's a gigantic open pit that looks like you were on a Wall Street trading floor. The editors have their tweet deck up. They have statistics running on every single story. They get stats from their stories every 30 minutes. They know what's going on. And they do their own search engine optimization. So if you think about it, to have an editor, if you're going to break the mold, you're going to break the mold. I'm going to say it 100 times. But for an editor to do their own search engine optimization, not to have a team of people and these task zombies that go back and forth and do it, they have to pack their own chute. If you spoke to somebody at some of the more prestigious companies like the New York Times or maybe Time Inc., somebody would be smoking a pipe and they would say, really, I don't do Windows, I don't do SEO. Well, then you don't work at the Huffington Post. You have to be a brilliant editor, and you also have to be willing to understand and utilize technology. If you suck at technology and you're a great editor, you can't work there, and vice versa. So what's happened is when you get statistics in that real time, it helps you tweak your stories, make the changes to the point that our traffic is up over 125% year over year. So I'm marveling at this. I didn't create the company. I got a chance to ride that pony.
SalesCrunch. Learn more, earn more.